Hi, I'm Shalev Amar with your Arizona Lemon Law Advocates at Amar Law Group. What we're going to talk about in today's video is substantial impairment in use and value. That's an element of a lemon law claim that has to be proven. So before we get into that, a little bit about my background. I've been handling lemon law cases as an attorney since 2004. I was managing partner of a consumer protection law firm that handled lemon law cases for 12 years. And now these last few years, I've gone out on my own. I have my own law firm with an amazing team, a large team that handles lemon law cases. So let's get into it. Most people think that if they have too many repairs or their vehicle is in the repair shop for too long when they have a brand new vehicle and these are warranty repairs, that, okay, I have a lemon. Now that's part of the equation. You do need to have either too many repairs or too much time in the repair shop to have a valid lemon law claim. However, that's only half of the equation. Here's the other half. Now, even if you've proven that your vehicle has been subject to an unreasonable number of repair attempts or an unreasonable repair time, the other thing that you have to show is substantial impairment in use and value, that the defect, nonconformity, or condition that you've been experiencing with your vehicle, again, has caused substantial impairment in use and value. So let's talk about substantial impairment in use. Substantial impairment in use, that can be shown in several ways. First and foremost, if you have, let's say, a defective cup holder, you can't really argue with a straight face that that's causing substantial impairment in use. It might be aggravating you, but whether it's substantial, highly debatable. However, let's say you're driving the vehicle and it's cutting out on you. That's obviously substantially impairing you in use. It's not getting you from A to B. Let's say you have brakes that aren't working properly. That's obviously substantially impairing your use. You're obviously concerned about your vehicle being able to stop or not. Let's say your transmission is shifting harshly. Again, I would contend that that is substantial impairment in use. It's directly affecting your use of the vehicle if, as your vehicle's shifting, if it's hesitating or if it's just doing it really roughly and making it difficult for you to drive your vehicle properly. Let's talk about suspension. Let's say your vehicle is pulling to the left or pulling to the right. I would contend that that is substantial impairment in use. The other way that you prove substantial impairment in use is by not actually having your vehicle because it's in the repair shop being repaired. So how are you able to use your vehicle when it's in the repair shop? So if you're without your vehicle for weeks at a time, that could substantially impair your use, even if you're given a loaner vehicle, because oftentimes a loaner vehicle is not the same caliber of car as your car. And so that's another way that you can prove substantial impairment in use, and that's if you have really egregious time in the repair shop, a lot of time without your car. So the more days in the repair shop, the better chance you have of proving substantial impairment in use. So again, to recap, substantial impairment in use is how the defect or condition or nonconformity is actually physically impairing your actual use of the vehicle in the ways that we talked about. And the other way is just being without your vehicle for a really long period of time because it's in the repair shop. Now let's talk about substantial impairment in value. Now, substantial impairment in value, again, we have to talk about minor issues versus major issues. Let's say your car has a rattle in the door. Again, aggravating, but can you really say that that is substantially impaired the market value of your car? That you wouldn't be able to sell your car for a fair value because it has a little rattle? Because, you know, maybe they could just put some insulation in there or, you know, I'm not a mechanic, so I don't know what they do to deal with rattles other than that, but a simple fix that could resolve that issue. Now, let's talk about something more serious. Now, if your engine is breaking down, the car is actually not driving. Obviously, that substantially impairs the value of the vehicle. Imagine a person looking to buy a car, a used car, one that's had no problems versus one that's had an engine that's broken down and that's in the Carfax and in the repair records. Obviously, a person would not pay near the price for a car that has that history. Let's talk about another substantial defect. Brakes. Again, brakes are a safety issue. And they can also be really loud when they're squealing. And one of the biggest concerns with the vehicle is, if I hit the brakes, will it stop? So brakes obviously can cause substantial impairment in value. I would say transmission can cause substantial impairment in value. Suspension could cause substantial impairment in value. Tire defects, if they're covered under the warranty, again, that could be a safety issue. That's substantial impairment in value. So you just need to look at the problem and what would a reasonable person find to be substantial, okay? And that's the other issue about substantial impairment. Now, the Arizona lemon law statute says substantial impairment to the consumer. That means a subjective element. What subjective means is you have to look at the circumstance and views of that actual consumer. Is it substantially impairing the value to you based on your experience and based on your beliefs? So that's where you start. However, even if you show that subjectively, from your perspective, you're substantially impaired in value, then you have to look at it from an objective perspective, because it's actually an affirmative defense to a lemon law claim that the defect, nonconformity, or condition does not substantially impair your use and value. So in that circumstance, the way you look at it is, what would a reasonable person, the average person, under the circumstances find to be substantial? And if that matches with what you as an individual find to be substantial impairment, then you have proved that element of a lemon law claim. So for more information on substantial impairment or on any other facet of the lemon law and what you're entitled to here, for a free case evaluation, please visit our website. That is ArizonaLemonLawAdvocates.com, or feel free to call us locally at 480-237-2744. We're always here to help.